Teekah Lewis, a 2-year-old little girl, gone missing from Frontier Bowling Alley in Tacoma, Washington in 1999, 23rd of January. Still missing. All her family wants is for her to come home and for them to know what happened to their family member. The night that Teeka went missing, it was around 10 o'clock in the evening, and she was at the New Frontier Bowling Alley with her family, and she was at the wheel of a video arcade game, and Theresa, which is her mother, she literally was about 10 feet from her, and she turned to look at her brother while he was bowling. For about 30 seconds she turned back and Teeka was taken. There is a witness that was in the parking lot at the time that Teeka went missing, and he states that he saw a maroon Pontiac Grand speed out of the parking lot during the night Teeka disappeared. The vehicle may have had 4 doors and was possibly a late 1980s or early 90s model with dark tinted windows and a large spoiler. So please remember that. If you do remember anything, keep that in mind. And if you want to have a look at the case, that is an important part of the case to help find what happened to Teeka. There was a statement made where an unidentified witness said that a Caucasian male man may have followed a child to one of the exits within that bowling alley. That does go in hand with the fact that no one really saw what happened to her. That man might have thought it was just her parent, and then when this occurred and this came out to the public, realised it could have been something suspicious. That could have something to do with Teeka going missing, and the fact that she couldn't open that door because it was very heavy. It makes sense that there could have been another exit that could have been used. It says one of the alley's exits, so there probably was multiple exits. Teekah Lewis' mother spoke to a man who told her he spoke to her daughter on the night that she went missing. He said she was lost and he approached her. When the police then spoke to him, he said that he had never seen her, never spoke to her, didn't know who she was, and wasn't at the bowling alley that night. But when you look and you research, it says that he was guilty of luring a child at Tower Lane's bowling alley, which isn't too far from the bowling alley that Teeka went missing from. And like I said, he was found guilty for this. This is the same man that apparently spoke to Teeka, from what her mother has said, that he had stated to her that he approached her and that she said she was lost, or he assumed she was lost.
Monique, the bowling alley was torn down years ago, but this is where Teekah Lewis's mother still holds vigils. She told me she spoke with police earlier today. They told her they searched the property belonging to a man who lives a few miles away, but they are not calling him a suspect. This is the yard on South Hawthorne Street that Tacoma police dug up and searched on Friday and Saturday. They confirmed to us that it was in connection with the 1999 abduction of 2-year-old Teekah Lewis.
Every time I hear something like that, it breaks my heart because I think the worst.
Teekah's mother told me police called her this morning to tell her about their search and the interview with the man.
He said he talked to my daughter that night. He said she was lost, so he approached her.
We searched our Cairo archives and found that the man who lives there had pleaded guilty to a 2010 child luring at another bowling alley, Tower Lanes. We are not naming him because he has not been arrested or charged in connection with Teekah Lewis's case. We showed Theresa Lewis his photo from our 2010 story.
I wish I could see a picture of him 13 years ago and I would know exact.
The man was at home today but did not want to be interviewed. He disputed what police told Lewis, said he was not at New Frontier Lanes when Teeka disappeared. He told me, "I do not know who that child is."
Now can this be the man that took my daughter? And if he is, where is she today?
Another story, 2 months before Teeka disappeared, in November 1998, a 4-year-old boy was sexually molested in the bathroom at Frontier Lanes, which is the same bowling alley that Teeka disappeared from. The suspect had brown curly hair and a beard, okay? And also the security guards that worked there, they believed they'd seen him in there before. That's very interesting because a few weeks after, it also states that a Caucasian man with brown hair tried to lure a 6-year-old boy from the same bowling alley, claiming he was the child's father, okay? So that's like what I said, where people could be interpreted differently when you're observing, okay? Earlier on in the day, Teeka went missing. A man with curly brown hair attempted to take 2 children from a park less than a mile from the bowling alley, okay? So this is all happening in the same place. Is this the same man? The descriptions are very similar and the actions are very similar. Teekah Lewis was born on the 7th of April 1996. She was roughly 35 pounds in weight. She was wearing a green Tweety Bird sweatshirt or t-shirt, white sweatpants and black and white Air Jordan sneakers. Her hair was pulled into a ponytail. She was also carrying a clear purse with a fish design containing starburst candies. Teeka is also biracial with black hair, brown eyes, and of African American, Caucasian and Native American descent. She has a large birthmark on her left buttock and red natural highlights in her hair at the time that she went missing. She has patches of light discoloration on her face and left side of her buttocks as the result of eczema. This could be there, this might not be, but it is something to pay attention to. Teeka's mother mentions that her character was extremely shy and she was afraid of strangers. So if someone did approach her, she probably would have run away and tried to find her mother, which is what her mother has tried to say a few times. That's what she would do. And you've got to remember these things that the mums say, the parents say, the family say about people that have gone missing, or there are suspicions around someone going missing. It's very important to listen to what the family are saying. It could mean so much. She was also asthmatic, and it could have meant that she may have needed medical attention, depending on if she would have needed her ventilator or not. But it's also something important to note, because it could mean that if someone has seen someone that looks similar to Teeka, how she would look grown up, and she is asthmatic, and there's other things that connect to this person that makes sense, it could help bring her home. This is a website called NCMEC Maps. I will put it in the description below. And if you type anyone who's been missing, it will come up the location at where that happened. So it is very useful for anyone who wants to look into this case and help find Teekah Lewis, find what happened to her. Regardless, her family wants her home.